Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is a Hummel. It's the Tier 6 German SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Halluf, and it's under the commands of Moose of the Royal Clan. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, that's a Klaus Kellerman. Yeah, he does that, doesn't he? He shouts out to the clans. Well, Moose is on the NA server and so is Klaus, so they probably do come across each other on occasion. Well, the Hummel, it's got a 15cm howitzer mounted on a hull that actually comes from a Panzer Mark IV with bits of Panzer Mark III in it. I know it sounds a bit confusing, but the Germans actually were being smart when they made it that way, because the Panzer Mark IV was one of the most mass-produced tanks they had available, and all they did was basically take one of their tanks without the turret and convert it for use with an artillery piece. In fact, the very same hull is also used for the Nashorn. They just mount an 88mm gun instead of the artillery piece. Well, 15cm howitzer, it's capable of doing 680 alpha, and it will penetrate through 39mm of armour with a burst radius of 7.1 metres, and he's now ready to shoot at the enemy. And he's aiming towards the northwest corner of the map, because that's where the encounter is going to take place between our heavies and theirs. Now, in actual fact, the Germans didn't just use the Hummel to carry the Arty. They also used the Hummel, or a version of it, without the gun, or without the howitzer I should say, to carry all the shells for the other Hummels to use. Yep, they actually had spare vehicles, and funnily enough, what they could do is, if they needed to, they could just take the gun or dismount the howitzer and use another Hummel as a ammunition carrier instead. Very simple. Of course, the Americans did the same with the T-30, which was used to service the M12, carrying all the shells for the M12. Okay, and by a bit of history out the way, we look at the gameplay now. It's the Tier 7 battle. That's the T-29, probably one of the best tier for tier heavies in the game. Rounds out on the IS-2 shielded, who takes some splash. Now you can see Moose is relocating after each shot, but he's actually only relocating a little bit. You don't need to move about a lot actually, just enough to throw off enemy Arty, because they'll be looking for the tracer. And even if they do find it, if you relocate, they won't be able to get a shot at you. 204 hit points. Oh, he backed up there, he went into the rock, but yep, he's changed position again. You see, he is watching to see where the shell goes after he shoots, and of course that's important information. Not only that you might get a blind hit, but also you need to know how to correct your next shot to get it right. Reload time is just under 25 seconds. Direct hit on the KV-2 and kills it. Nice one, that's his first kill. Now, Moose is an accomplished Arty player. He plays Arty quite a lot, and you can probably tell that from the number of free plays he sends in about Arty. And of course the fact that he gets very good accuracy on his Artys as well. It does help if you practice, because then you get good, and your crew gets good at putting the shell on the spot every time. Well, not every time, but you know, RNG throws it off occasionally. Now he's trying to get a shot on that AMX 1357. It's a difficult shot because he's actually fairly close and the shell's being shot over a short range, but instead he's decided he's going to shoot up in the northwest corner again. Lines it up on the Tiger P, fires the round in, and direct hit. But only 20 hit points because he hit heavy or hard armour, and that ameliorated the effect of the shell. Oh, one of our Artys, the M44, just killed the P43 on the enemy team. Now, one of the good things about being an accomplished player like Moose is that you also can read the battle and see exactly what's going on and make decisions which actually can be game changing. One of the things that Arty players tend to do more than any other tank player in the game is they watch their minimap. They look at what's going on at the battlefield. They're not only reading the minimap to look for your next target, but they're also reading the minimap to see where the threat from the enemy is coming. And the reason for that is that Arty is very vulnerable, has very thin armor, has very short view range, and can be easily taken out by an enemy light tank who just comes looking for him. Just misses the Tiger P there. And there's an enemy light tank in residence. Yes, in fact there's two. Well, one's a light tank, the other one's a tank destroyer. There's an AMX 1357 just a short distance away, and he's just killed our GW Panther. And here comes the E25. He's been spotted. He's almost loaded, and he's going to hold his fire until this guy gets close. And now he's engaging the E25. So we have to move, but we're going to move towards the E25 and shotgun him. There you go. We stunned our own teammate, but the thing is the E25 is dead. He's no longer a threat, and that means that, yep, he can move. But that's enemy Arty. Enemy Arty knew where he was and fired where they thought he would be, but they didn't get him on this occasion. Now thankfully the E25 came to his rescue. Our E25, Raptor Pike, came to his rescue and actually managed to occupy that E25, because if he hadn't come, then I think Moose would have been wiped out. Of course, Moose is going to continue to fight. He's not going to let a small setback like losing a few hit points let him down. Something you might actually notice what he's doing. He's actually moving further away from the enemy, or trying to. He's trying to get away from an Excalibur this time. He's made his way into the cap area. And although the Excalibur's not coming up this way yet, he could at any time. He doesn't want to shotgun these guys, but if he has to, he will. The E25 comes to his rescue again, and he's firing on the Excalibur. But how long before the E25 gets wiped out by enemy Arty? He's tearing that Excalibur to shreds, and it looks to me like Moose is going to go in and try and shotgun this guy. Yes! Nicely done. Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes. You get really close and you cannot miss. But he did a lovely one there. Good shotgun. And of course Moose is very, very well practiced at shotgunning in Arty's. As you may have seen in one of his videos recently, he was in the SU-8. He did a very nice shotgun on an enemy Arty who was coming towards him. And then he did an even better one on the fly against another enemy Arty that was suddenly discovered. Well, it's 4 against 5 now. He's trying to get a shot on an OI. Rounds out. Oh, it landed between them. He was let down by the RNG there. The shell went long and landed. He's getting ready to shoot the enemy OI, but he's changed his mind. He's going to go for the P43 Biz. Rounds out. Oh, again, RNG makes the shell land behind the 43 Biz. But he did do quite a lot of damage. Unfortunately, ROI goes down. And Moose is not loaded yet, but he might be able to get a splash kill on the P43 Biz. And that will just leave the OI as the main threat. Rounds out on the Biz. He didn't get him. It would have come up if he got him. He didn't. He pulled away after he shot, so we didn't get to see what happened to the shell. And normally I do say don't do that, because otherwise we miss out on important information. But we can now know that he didn't hit him. And those two tanks are now making their way towards our cap. And Moose is getting ready to go down into the valley if he needs to. The OI has missed our P43. And Moose is about to fire another round in. It's his last round. He's in the breach now. It's his last round. He only has a limited number of shells. 18 shells is all you get in a Hummel. He's only got 1 round left. So he's decided he's going to go to the other end of the map. He's going to go up into the enemy cap area or enemy area and try and shoot at his own cap from a long way away. And they've lost the P-43 Biz. All he's got is the E25 left on his team. And he's probably going to have to go back to his own cap. Even with only 1 hit point, he's probably going to have to go back to his cap and find out where the OI is to allow Moose to get a reset. Let's hope that the E25 finds the P-43 Biz before the P-43 Biz finds the E25. And then he might be able to get a kill into him, because after all he was a splash kill, that P-43 Biz. But I expect the OI to head straight towards our cap area. And it's, oh, this vehicle's so labouringly slow when it goes up a steep hill like this. I think he's going to go straight to the cap area. The E25 couldn't find the enemy Arty. We don't know where he is. The enemy Arty is a Crusader SP. That's the Arty that was going to be built based on the Crusader hull. But with... oh, there he is. He's been found. He's at the other end of the map. About to go to the cap. E25's found him. And he's killed him. Which means we've got no threat from enemy Arty now. The only threat really is from the P-43 Biz. And we don't know where he is. But he wasn't anywhere on the road that runs around the... or the ring that runs around the outside of the map. And the OI's been spotted. And of course now Moose is capping. In fact, the E25 said cap. He wants Moose to cap. Put pressure on the enemy. And the OI has started capping. E25 is coming back. I think he's looking for the P-43 Biz. Now you'd think if the P-43 Biz had his mind put together, he'd jump into the cap with the OI, and with 2 capping they might be able to balance the scores and win the game. But the E25 is coming back here to actually cap with Moose and make certain of this game. Okay, well, he's joined Moose in the cap area. 2 of them capping now. 15 seconds to go, but where is the P-43 Biz? We don't know. Now, the E25 has disappeared, but that's a mechanic that's a fault in the game mechanic. 3 seconds to go. 2 seconds. 1. Moose fires a round in. And he didn't get a reset, but they've won the game. And with 3 seconds left to a draw on the cap scores, they've won it. So, well played, Moose. But let's have a look at the end of battle cap, the end of battle results, and see how well he actually did. Well, it's the first class tanker for Moose in the Hummel. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 15 in that game, but best of all, he picked up an Invader medal. He was the he wasn't the only one to cap out, but he managed to get at least 80 cap points whilst he was in the cap, and the E25 made it absolutely certain for his team. And so he gets an Invader, got 80 capture points. Let's have a look at the team scores. Didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to the P-43 Biz on the enemy team. We never found him. He got 2,934 hit points of damage. The next high scorer being the E25 with 2,820, and a lot of praise should go to Raptor Pike for coming back to defend his cap area and get rid of those intruders. They were serious intruders. The AMX 1357, the other E25, and of course that Excalibur. The next high damage after that was the IS-2 Armoured, or Shielded, 2,019 hit points of damage, then the OI with 1,921, and then we got Moose with 1,642 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, it was, yes, the E25. He did the best with 4 kills, 3 kills for Moose, and also for the Crusader SP and the M44 on the enemy team, and 2 kills for the OI, the P43 Biz, and the Sherman Easy 8. And when it came to base XP, it was the E25 did the best with 1,164, 970 to the OI, 924 to Moose. Moose fired 18 rounds in that game, got 6 direct hits, no penetration, 19 splash. Damage of 1,642 hit points, of which 1,353 were at more than 300 meters. He received 1 hit, it was a penetration, that was from the E25 that came over the rise and fired at him. He also got hit by splash from the enemy Arty, who fired at him from the other side of the battlefield. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed, 549 hit points of stun assists or 14 stuns, and he did get exactly 80 capture points. The E25 joined the cap just at the moment, right moment to enable Moose to get the Invader medal, and if he'd been just joined a fraction of a second earlier, then of course Moose would have missed out, but he got 80 capture points, and that means the E25 probably got 20 out of that. When it came to credits, he earned 29,165 credits on a premium account, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 22,856 credits. He received 924 XP, times 2 for the first victory, 693 from personal reserves, and took away 3,465 experience points altogether. So another great game by Moose, and good thinking about edging towards the edge of the valley before having to make the dash across to the other side. He only had 1 round left. It wouldn't have been any effective to stay near his cap when, of course, he needed to be at the other end of the map to cap out and make absolutely certain of the game. But he had a really good partner in that E25 Raptor Pike. That guy really did save the game. He was the key player, the MVP. And without him, I don't think they would have had the result they did. In fact, I suspect that Moose would have died to the enemy E25 early on during the battle. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, please. And thanks for watching.